Minoxidil not working? Are you thinking about hair transplant? Forget all those and hear me out. 7 months ago, this guy joined my program, and this was his before situation, and at that time he already had taken finasteride, he had applied minoxidil, and done so many other treatments, but nothing was working. He was still losing hair, he was still shedding hair, and his hair loss progression continued. And if you look at the pictures, you can see that he was not suitable for a hair transplant, because his donor area was thinning out. So his only option was to regrow his own hair. And in this video, I'm going to show you his results after 7 months mark, and also I'll talk about his situation, what was the reason why he was not seeing results from the treatment, and this can help you to understand and inspire you what kind of results one can actually achieve with doing a treatment, with doing it correctly, with the correct approach and correct treatment. And for you guys who are new to the channel, my name is Alex, I'm a certified trichologist, but previously I also was a hair loss sufferer. I was dealing with hair loss myself for almost a decade before I was able to regrow back my own hair, and since then I have helped thousands of guys do the same. So if you are struggling with hair loss, book a session below this video, let's speak, let's find a solution to your hair loss once and for all. So when it comes to this guy here, like what happened is that he was having very aggressive hair loss, and he had done so many things in terms of his hair approach, like or treatment. Like he had done essential applications, he had done different types of growth stimulants, he had done scalp massages, headbands, and he had done DHT blockers, anti-androgens, but nothing was working because there was a missing link. And I want to talk about that missing link that is often overlooked. So the problem for this guy here was that he was focusing all his efforts on the treatment itself, but not addressing the underlying problems, what could be preventing treatment from work. And this is a quite common problem. A lot of guys, they kind of overlook all the so-called extras that are important to address and just focus all the efforts on androgens, all the efforts on DHT blockers, so growth stimulants, but without addressing the underlying factors that could be preventing them from working properly. And the thing is that if you do address those underlying factors, what can happen is that first of all the treatment itself will become so much more powerful and it will give you so much better results, but you also will be able to keep those results much longer, right? So the treatment itself will stay effective year after year and even decade after decade. So this is possible if you work on those underlying problems. And the problem is that what I often see is that for the guys who are younger, like in the early 20s for example, they have, let's say, recent hair loss and the follicles are still active, and it is still quite easy to get results if one is in early stages of the hair loss. But when one gets older, the follicles become less active and it requires more efforts, more approaches in terms of addressing those underlying factors that could be preventing the treatment from working than, for example, someone who is younger. And for this guy, he is in his 30s, right? So basically he had hair loss that had been going on for a while, his follicles have become less active, and he was dealing with underlying problem dermatitis. He also had microinflammatory problems on his scalp, and additionally he had multiple triggers in his diet. Like he had a healthy lifestyle, healthy diet, but there was multiple triggers in his diet that was affecting and causing him basically not seeing results from treatment. Like what would happen is that if he had those diet triggers, he would have more shedding, right? And if one is not connecting the dots, it's kind of easy to overlook as that they are connection, right? Because if there is a shedding, what happens is that it affects the treatment and causes the treatment kind of resets itself, because each time one has a trigger, it affects effectiveness of the treatment and makes it is harder to basically get results from growth stimulation or stopping the hair loss progression. And one could see that, for example, having a right diet, having a right lifestyle, like it doesn't count that much, but the thing is that it is about the total number, right? So for example, diet maybe for some can count 5% of less shed, then for example lifestyle maybe can count for 10% of less shed, and total of it is quite high, right? So basically if one keeps summing it up, it can actually make a huge difference when one addresses underlying problems compared to someone who doesn't do it. So when it comes to this guy and his results after 7 months, you can see how nicely he was able to recover thinning areas. And this is just 7 months mark or 7 months results. And when one looks at the hair loss treatment and results one can achieve, like 7 months, you'll see even more results after 12 months, after 15 months, and even after 24 months. And that's usually is kind of peak results one can achieve from the treatment. So for him, he will keep progressing. He will get better hair, better results. if he keeps addressing the underlying problems, if he keeps away from the triggers that could affect his hero cycles, that could spike his DHT sensitivity, or affect his internal factors, right? So this is good inspiration for you guys to show you what is possible if one is actually taking this hair loss seriously, addresses the online problems, do a potent treatment, because he is continuing with finasteride, he's continuing with minoxidil, like those are core parts of his treatment, but he has addressed all around it to make the structure, to make it more potent, right? So this is important, right? And if you do it, you can also get results. And if you need help with it, if you need guidance for the hair loss, book a session below this video. There's a link for it. Let's speak. Let's solve your hair loss problem once and for all. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and see you next one.